I wasn't really sure what kind of a mother I would make. I was pretty involved in things that I was doing in my life. But I knew I had that maternal instinct to really want children. Jamie, before he was hospitalized, he was incredible. I mean, he was, growing like any other child, and he was almost ahead of his brother, actually, Jack. When he was about a year old, he was hospitalized. Immediately after hospital, I noticed his coordination. He kind of lacked a little bit of coordination, and it was kind of like we had to rebuild him back into walking. It was probably 3 months after, and it started declining. It was kind of a combination of things. It wasn't just his verbal skills, it was kind of social. He kind of started going within himself, and he wasn't playful with Jack as much. He was looking out the window, he was making lunch, and I'm like, Jamie, let's go, let's eat lunch. And he just kept staring out the window. Picked him up. I'm like, Jamie. And he just looked right through me. And I'm like, Jamie, are you there? And I realized that for some reason he was gone. I knew that there was something really wrong. And so the first thing I did was go to my pediatrician. And he said to me, well, I think Jamie has autism. I looked at autism on the outside, and I looked at autism on the inside. A lot of people don't look at autism on the inside. And that's what I did. I think that was his key to recovery, is I looked at his body internally and what could I do to shift the chemical imbalance, or the imbalance in his body or his brain. I needed the right people behind me to do this, and I needed to find the right people. It was 4 years of really finding the right doctors and going. Who I got from the Autism Research Institute was Dr. Terry Grossman, and one of his specialties was chelation therapy. And so I went to him, and he started teaching me about chelating. We found another wonderful doctor, Dr. Luke Moss, in Santa Barbara, and that's when I found another chelating agent, and that's when we started on that particular chelating agent, and that's when we started to see the changes in him. It had been 3 years since I heard him speak, and it was amazing. I was in Santa Barbara, and I was getting dressed to go out that night, and I was changing, and I heard this voice, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Who?" I turned around, and Jamie was there, and I'm like, Jamie, where's Jack? Because I'm like, who would, Jack's gonna talk like that, Jamie's not gonna talk like that. And I'm like, Jack. I looked all over, Jack, and Jamie was just standing there. I flipped out. I was like, oh my gosh, Jamie, did you just talk right now? Did you just talk? And well, he was about 5, and Jack and Jamie were walking out the door. Always, the biggest thing that I wanted to hear Jamie say was what he said. And Jack said, Mom, we're going across the street to Hayden and Kate's. They're friends across the street. Jamie turned around and looked at me right in the eyes and said, I love you, Mom. And that was it.
Krista Vance is a natural storyteller who draws the reader into her life and the lives of her family. She shares her despair and vulnerability, fear and doubts, as well as affection and compassion. This story cannot help but inspire laughter, tears, and most of all, hope. Krista proves almost anything is possible. The access she provides to doctors, therapists, new technology, and approaches to nutrition will help guide people of all kinds through their own demanding journeys through life-altering conditions. Come experience all the bends and jolts in this unconventional account of conquering adversity as you meet Jamie now.